Hi there, we're back in Glow's Kindred Kitchen. It's the week of St. Patrick's Day, which is going to be on Friday. And we're getting ready to whip up make some corned beef and cabbage. Oh, hey, Glow, come on over. We're ready to start.
Welcome. Today I'm going to be making you a dish for St. Patrick's Day. And it's called glazed corned beef. And it is delicious. And it's a little different than the traditional way to do it. I mean, in the beginning, we cook the corned beef just like you always do, boiling on top of the stove. Actually, you bring your water to a boil and then you turn it down to a very low simmer. This is just under 3 pounds for a corned beef.
Looks good to me.
So I'm going to be cooking this for about 3 hours or until it's nice and tender. And I've had this sitting out on my counter for probably about 45 minutes to an hour, because I like to bring my beef or pork, whatever I'm cooking, up to room temperature before I start.
Why is that, Miss Glow?
I find that the meat cooks better than just putting it on when it's really cold. And it might be that it's just not such a shock to the meat as you're putting it in.
Okay.
Okay, and then here I have one rib of celery that I've cut up in, a size like this. And I have one onion, small onion, that I cut up in a size like that.
Did it make you cry?
No, actually, this onion did not. Some onions,
good.
They'll just make you cry like there's no tomorrow. I did find a little tip, though, that if you cut it underwater, it's not quite so bad. But anyway, let's go ahead and we'll start in on this. The first thing I'm going to do is I have my water already starting to preheat here. And I'm going to go ahead and put the celery that I cut up and the onion in here. There we go. And I don't put any carrot in it. The recipe that I had found years ago, and I believe it was the Taste of Home cookbook, the recipe didn't call for carrot, and I actually like it like this. You can cook carrots on the side if you'd like. What I do that's different than a lot of people is I'm going to be saving my broth after I cook this to make soup, and it makes a delicious soup. You do have to chill it, and then you take the fat off, and then you just use the broth. But anyway, let's go ahead and put our corned beef in. I did rinse this off before you guys join me. I'll just set that in there. He doesn't want to come off my fork, does he?
Not yet.
There we go. And you just want it to be covered by the water. And I think I'm going to add just a tad more water. I just have some tap water in here. There, that should be plenty. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner up to high. And the other thing I have here is the little packet that comes in with your corned beef.
What's in that, Miss Glow?
There's mustard seed, there's celery seed, I'm sure. There's bay leaf in here, probably some red pepper flakes. It's just a mixture of spices. In fact, I'll pour this out in my hand so you guys can see.
Nice.
Yep. And there's probably fennel and caraway seed in here as well. That's my guess. So that's all there is to that. And we're just going to bring this up to a boil, a low boil, and I'll turn it down and let it simmer on a very low simmer for about 3 hours. See how easy this is? And then we'll go on to the glaze step after that. So I'm going to go ahead and let this come up to a boil. We'll come back when it's starting to do that, which will probably be like 4 minutes because it's already starting to get pretty hot there. And I'll be back, and then you can see what it looks like before I put the lid on. Well, as you can tell, our water is coming up to a boil now, so I'm going to turn this down to low. I'm using a cast iron pan, or a pot, I should say. I believe this is a 5-quart, and The reason I selected the cast iron over just the regular stainless steel is this will hold heat better. And I just prefer it for stuff like this. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on. I already turned it down to low. I may have to use my diffuser. In fact, I'm going to show you what that looks like. My burners cook hot. So if I cannot get my pot to cook at a very low simmer, I'm going to put this on the burner in between the burner and my pot. And it will bring down the temperature just a little bit more. I love this thing. And it's really helped me with my cooking. But I just thought I'd show you that.
You picked that up in Tennessee.
Yeah, you can actually get them online on Amazon. I'm sure you can find them in the stores as well. I had just never used one or even had seen it before that. So I just thought I'd share that with you. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let this cook for about 3 hours, and we'll be back. And we'll be back before that, though, because we're going to be making the glaze to go on this while it's in the oven. Hi, well, our corned beef is busy cooking away here. In fact, let's take a look at that. Just see what it's looking like. There we go. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice?
Yes, it does.
Yep. So it's got about a half hour more to go on it. So let's go ahead and we're going to make our sauce now. What I have in here is a half of a stick of butter, which is 1/4 of a cup. And that's going to be melting. And to that, I have 2/3 of a cup of ketchup and 1/3 of a cup of vinegar. And I just put it all in the same measuring cup. I have 1 cup of brown sugar. And then it calls for 2 teaspoons of mustard. So I'm going to do 2 squirts. And then I have a couple of different recipes for this. One of them calls for Irish whiskey, which I'm going to use today. And then I have another one that calls for horseradish, but I don't have any on hand today. So I'm using the Irish whiskey, but it's perfect because this is for St. Patrick's Day anyway. So let's go ahead and put this all together. As you can tell, it's very easy. So this is melting. I'm going to go ahead and just add the sugar to it now. And if you noticed, I have my spoon, or spurtle, this is called, underneath that brown sugar. The reason I did that is to prevent it from plopping down in there and having that butter splatter on it.
Good idea, Miss Glow.
I always try to think of the safety and stuff that will help you.
Safety first.
Yeah. Like when we were reviewing the video for this cabbage, I noticed that I was putting my hand kind of close to that hot water. Be extra careful with doing that. I probably should have used another utensil to pull that fork off of that meat. I was being very careful. But if you're not an experienced cook, by all means, get something else to help pull it off so you don't burn yourself. Actually, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. You're still going to have little accidents, and safety is very important. So I'm going to go ahead now and just kind of mix this ketchup up with this vinegar. And the reason I'm doing that is so that it comes out of this measuring cup easier. And I'm just going to see how I'm doing that. Putting it there to just kind of help prevent splashing. This glaze that we're making is so good on this corned beef. And the corned beef, I'm using a point, not the flat. I find that the points have more flavor to them than the flats. And they're usually cheaper too. I was very fortunate for this one. I purchased it at Aldi. It was $2.99 a pound. So couldn't go wrong with that. I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 squirts of mustard in here. Whoop, whoop. That's like 1, 2. I think I'm actually going to put a little bit more mustard, being that we like mustard a lot. So there, that's good. So it's probably about 2½ teaspoons I put in. So I'll be back just as soon as this butter here finishes melting, and then we'll put the whiskey in. Well, now I'm going to put in the 2 little dashes of the whiskey. 1, 2. And of course, if you want more of a bourbon flavor or whiskey flavor, by all means, put more in. But I think that'll be enough. So that's all there is to it. So now we've got our sauce ready for when the corned beef is ready. And it does smell really good. So
It does.
Anyway, we'll be back when the corned beef is ready, and then we'll just go on to the next where our corned beef is all done. So let's go ahead and remove the lid. And remember, when you're removing a lid, always remove it away from you and the people around you. So I'm going to lift it up like that.
Some steam there.
And a steam burn will really hurt.
Yep.
So, doesn't that look good? So I'm going to go ahead and take that out and put it in this pan. And then our next step here is to put that sauce on that we made.
The glaze.
And this is going to take about 25 minutes or so to cook with this glaze on. Doesn't that look yummy? Wow, this is going to be delicious. So I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and we'll see each other in about 20 to 25 minutes. Well, I just pulled out the corned beef glazed, and it looks and smells delicious.
It does.
Unfortunately, you got to wait 10 minutes before we can slice it. It's got to rest. But we are really looking forward to this tonight. It's been a few years since I've made this, and it is so yummy. So anyway, I'll be back in about 10 minutes and we'll sample it. Well, it's all done, you guys. Look at that corned beef, that glazed corned beef. And then I made, it's a roasted cabbage steak. It has olive oil on it and some seasonings, and it pairs really well together. So now it's time for the taste test. I think the first thing I'll do is the cabbage. Oh, it smells so good. I don't know if you guys like roasted cabbage, but we love it. So let me taste it. When you roast cabbage, it brings out the sweetness. It's just delicious. And this corned beef is so tender, you don't even need a knife.
That's pretty tender.
Mmm. I don't know which is better. I like a boiled cabbage or this. This is excellent. That glaze is so good. I'm gonna put a little bit more on. That is so good. Need another piece of that cabbage too. What a treat. So worth waiting for this. So good. I wish you guys were here to share this with us. I'd love to share it. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have, please give me a like and comment. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do and share with your friends. I hope you guys have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.